Welcome to YSM Conversations, a gathering place for women who sense something deeper is calling. Together, we believe that the most profound adventures begin within, and that when women gather in deep conversation, something ancient and necessary awakens.
Open the door to a new conversation through generative listening, weaving together generations of wisdom and listening beyond the ears to restore the intelligence your body has always carried and integrate soulfulness into the adventure of your life. This is restoring and connecting to the deeper current running beneath it all.
We are YSM Conversations. Welcome home. Welcome back into the conversation. Here's a little of where we left off. And I love that you're bringing in it just kept not happening for the things that we were bringing forth and saying, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could create so many beautiful things. And that feels like we're teasing our way into the next conversation because there's something in me that really just wants to talk about the bumps in the road that we experienced as YSM came to be, because it wasn't all smooth. And we continue. I want to make sure that there's voice given to that part of the process, because in our relationships in life, in our processes, in our ventures in life, it is not all going to be smooth. Those bumps in the road, they can throw you off course and prevent you from continuing down the road, or they can inform the way that you move down the road. And my experience with you, Victoria, as we move through this crazy process of revealing YSM conversations has very much been, there's stuff coming up, and this is a safe space where we can come in and be like, this is what I'm feeling. I'd love to talk about it. And there's no right or wrong. There's no judgment. It was just like, this is what's present right now. And I haven't fully figured it out. And I know that just being in conversation with you about that thing is going to help us sort it and inform the way that we continue moving down the road. Victoria, what comes up for you for all the bumps that we experienced?
One of the first things that comes to my mind is that we as humans, we're so much better off when we embrace bumps. And our tendency, as you and I have talked about in other conversations, is to resist what's uncomfortable. And so that idea of noticing that embracing a bump does not mean it is comfortable. It means you have the willingness to show up. And one of the things that I'm very clear in myself at this moment, at this timeline in my life journey, is that one of my greatest gifts is simply showing up wherever called, right? So in those bumpy moments, showing up is enough. Can feel like the hardest thing in the world to do. What I loved was how in the different bumps along the way, each one of us would show up to the other as we are. And the uniqueness and diversity of who we are, being multi-generational women and being diverse and different life experiences, and appreciation for that diversity helped me show up, right? That I don't have to have all the answers. I may see things through a different lens than you do, than someone else does. And if I just show up and I put on my full presence, listening beyond the ears, sense of me, then the bumps become part of the awakening.
I'm going to pause you there and request that you say that again.
The bumps become part of the awakening.
Just giving that one some space to marinate. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I know that this might be for a future conversation with your superpower of just showing up, because that just showing up can be so hard and yet so simple. Is there one thing that you can point to that helps you to just show up in those moments? Or is it just one of those things where it's like, oh, I don't know how not to do it that way?
You know, that's a good question. It might have to be a full conversation about what that is. And I think that's the gift of having many years of experiences that, as you and I've talked through in other conversations, it's part of the choice of your beingness, like that. What is it that you cannot be? So there is that aspect, and there is that choice to live it. So we can be who we are and we can know who we are, and then to step forward and live it and be vulnerably visible. I think that takes some more of us to be present to.
Mhm.
I think that's definitely part of our origin story process, that we knew there was something more than us coming together. That was why we were looking for what wanted to be generated. We all have what we're called to, that greater sense of what wants to be revealed through us. And in this origin story, YSM conversations wanted to be revealed through us. And so when we have moments in conversation together in these podcasts where something comes through, like what just came through, and I don't even remember what I just said, you might still have it held. It comes through, but it comes through from that greater the aspect of what wants to be revealed that's beyond the personality of me and of you. And that's this organic generating conversation that is called YSM now, that it's more than us. And I'd be almost assured that so many people who are listening or who find us and start listening to us through someone else will say, yeah, I know what they're talking about. I either have generated that myself where it goes beyond me, or I've generated it with others, or I desire to generate that in life too.
I love these little pockets of if you've experienced this before or you want to experience this before. And maybe for some of our listeners who are here today, you can immediately say, oh, I've had that happen before. Maybe that's what's happening, generative listening. And for others who may be not sure or think that it hasn't happened, what are the telltale signs of generative listening? For me, the conversation is engaging and energizing, even if it's like 5 hours long. And there's this, you described it so beautifully, Victoria. There's this magnetism of keeping wanting to go deeper and deeper, and this feeling of slowly, layer by layer, carving out, like we talked about, carving out the angel in the marble, where it's just layer by layer, taking it slowly, one question at a time, one revelation at a time, where we're getting in deeper and deeper into the self and the energy of somebody else, so that something bigger can be like, oh, I'm here. Yes, you've created this field, you've revealed this field so that this other piece can be revealed. So for you, what are those telltale signs of generative listening in action?
This is kind of interesting. In the generative listening of you, I'm like, we could do a retreat on this for people that do crave this. I was like, oh, okay. Wouldn't that be an interesting experience to be with people in the, how do I get my own access? Wouldn't that be interesting to be in an experience with others and playing with those different ways that we might generate?
That would be so fun. And I'm going to just say it now that it is going to happen. And it's what wanted to be revealed to us, because we literally yesterday were talking about, what are we making here? What's going to be coming from this beyond the episodes of this podcast? And you're all invited. Please come. We'd love to have you.
Sedona.
Reunion in Sedona.
Sit with what just moved through. We'll meet you in the next one. Thank you for diving deep with us into generative listening. If this episode stirred something in you, subscribe to keep restoring with us. And if someone came to mind while you were in your own generative listening, share this episode with them. Because when women gather, something ancient and necessary awakens.
We are YSM Conversations, connecting back to the deeper currents on behalf of seeding our next collective. wholeness.